Hey, what's going on there, YouTube? It's Charles here from Charles's World, coming at you with a collectible minifigure review. Finally have all of Series 13, which is set 71008. And right here's the package. Inside the package, you can collect up to one of these 16 collectible minifigures for Series 13. So let's go ahead and take a look at them all, as I finally picked up the last few ones the other day. First up is the King, often sometimes referred to as the Burger King by some people out there in the LEGO community. I think he's just a pretty cool king. I really enjoy the printing. I like the gold chain right in there. He has some side printing as well. I think the crown and all the little beard stuff is pretty cool as well. The one thing I don't necessarily like about some of these figures is the cape and just how hard it is to get on, and then it's just not really ever situated correctly. But other than that, a great figure to kick off this series. Next up is the Sheriff. Really enjoy the Sheriff. He's probably one of my favorites, partly because of the Wanted poster, partly because of the hat and the little mustache accessory, which is pretty cool. So really enjoy this figure as well. Moving on to Unicorn Girl. This was the first figure I picked up in Series 13. Overall, a cool figure. Not one of my favorite figures of the specialty lines like Pigman and Unicorn Girl, things like that. Not necessarily my favorite, but not necessarily my least favorite as well. I don't really see the need for this one, but it's still kind of a cool addition. Next up is the Snake Charmer. Yet again, has very cool printing with the necklaces on his shirt. Enjoy the hat, which is basically just a towel wrapped around. And then the snake is cool, and the snake actually has back printing like a real cobra does. The only thing bad about this one is the flute doesn't really have any markings on it to make it look like a flute. It just is kind of like basically a stick as the snake falls. So that's kind of the one negative about it. Because if there was no snake there, you wouldn't know what that was, because it was just like I said, a stick. Next up is a Goblin. I could take or leave this figure. The sword is kind of cool with all the little ridges there with just the accessory alone, but not one of my favorite figures in the line. Next up is Paleontologist Girl, I believe. It's just a paleontologist. This one is really cool because it ties in with the LEGO Ideas set, the Research Institute, and these both came out kind of at the same time, and so it was a very cool tie-in. I don't have the Research Institute. I kind of waited too late to get that one. But this is kind of a cool fig with that little hat and the bone and the fossil. And like I said, if you have the Research Institute, this is another figure you could use in that set. So that's very cool. Next up is the Alien Hunter, or the Alien Trooper. Very cool headpiece. This headpiece reminds me a lot of the Simpsons headpieces with the little soft rubbery. I like the octopus things coming down, and then there's some head printing. There is some back printing on this one, and kind of continues around the little alien suit. It's kind of a cool little figure, and then it has a little ray gun, I believe is what it is. Next up is the Egyptian Princess. I like the little hat, the little Sphinx hat. The sword's kind of cool. Other than that, it's a pretty good figure. It has some back printing as well, and continues kind of the robe. And then next up is the Construction Worker. I really like this figure. This might be my favorite one in this line. I really think the saw is cool. The wood piece is very cool. I also like it. You can notice down here on his tool belt, he has some screwdrivers. He has a tape measure. So that's very cool. I like the detail on his pants there and some of the other accessories that it comes with. And then of course a hard hat. It's just something different. You know, when you think of a construction worker, you think of Emmett, and so this is just a different figure to use in some of those sets. I just noticed the saw is upside down. Interesting. This next one is the Evil Magician. Yet again with the cape. I'm not a big fan of those capes and the way they kind of design. It's kind of the same with the little dress things around the bottom. It's similar to the Good Wizard we had in Series 12. So nothing really too major about it. It had some evil looks on the face, which is kind of cool. Next up is the Fencer. Has a really cool mask. The only thing I wish the mask could do is this little piece right here could kind of flip up like it does in the real fencing helmet. The cool little display on the shirt there, and then the sword. This is kind of one of my favorite figures of this line as well, minus the little helmet piece. I wish that could flip up. This other one is a Ninja Warrior. This armor piece is cool. It's actually a hard piece that you put over it. Two swords. There's some leg printing on this figure. Not one of my favorites, but I do like this little piece right here. Next up is the Disco Girl. Probably the most colorful of the figures with the side printing, the arm printing, there's some back printing. Like the afro piece there, the hair piece, that's something different that we haven't seen. Well, I mean, we see some of it in the Simpsons line, but it's not, it's actual hair color, it's not the blue color we get. The coolest thing about this are the little roller blades you get with it. I really think that is cool. It's kind of a rolling disco girl. Next up, in this one, is the infamous Hot Dog Man. This is the most popular figure of this series. It is pretty cool little figure. It's probably my favorite between this and the Unicorn Girl. I would prefer this over that. I think it's kind of a cool thing. If you're doing something, you know, for baseball or a theme, you know, they do those hot dog races, you could use something for that. But other than that, you know, I could take it or leave it. It is pretty cool. Next up is this ogre goblin. It's not a goblin, it's like an ogre. Kind of like the goblin, I could take it or leave it. You know, I kind of like that this does pop off. You have a different helmet, and then you see the two eyes, and there is a back printing on the face. And so that's that one. And then the last one is some type of a space warrior. He has some gear on and stuff. It looks like maybe some type of military warrior. I don't really remember the name of this one. But it's cool with all the helmet and the accessories. It reminds me of some of the Aqua accessories. And then the face. There's that face. And then there is an actual regular face if you want to put that on and take the helmet off. As it kind of falls off there. So that's it for Series 13. There's all 16 figures and what I feel about them. We will be doing a review of Series 12. I've had those a lot longer. I've just never gotten around to review them. And then I'm going to be starting to collect the Simpsons Series 2 minifigures up next. So until the next video, guys, take care. Bye.